Hello, welcome to another Ready Game Roll video. Today we are taking a look at Dungeons and Dragons Adventures, issue 3. And I'm gonna be upfront, no dice this one. So far, for me, it is the weakest issue in terms of freebies. You get, with your magazine, obviously you get the magazine itself, and you get these, plastic standees. I'm not sure this is worth, even with the magazine, I'm not sure this is worth $8.99. I think they're up to the standard $8.99 price now. Yes, $8.99. And I'm not really sure if the new issue 4 is worth it either. It's still cool. It's still, like, especially if you are the intended audience for this, someone who's just getting into D&D. It is cool. It's just that I'm not sure it's cool enough for, good enough for people who are just collecting because it's D&D. And yeah, anyway, if you've been enjoying our D&D adventures, excuse me, if you've been enjoying our D&D adventures reviews slash flip throughs, yeah, thank you. And if you want to see what else we've got coming down the pipeline for you, there's a little subscribe button down here somewhere that I'd love it if you clicked. It would be great to see you come aboard the good ship Ready Aim Roll. I don't know where I was going with that. I said come aboard, and then I was like, I've got to do some sort of nautical analogy now. I don't know. Anyway, I digress. Great if you subscribed. Great if you liked the video. That's cool. These videos have been doing really well, actually. First video is over 500 views in... It got 500 views in about 4 or 5 days, actually, which is awesome. And our second issue video got 300 odd views in, I think, 3 days now. So that's really cool. Obviously, diminishing returns is definitely a thing. So I expect if the trend continues, maybe this will get 1 or 200 views. If we're lucky. Because obviously we're a very small channel. We don't get that many views normally anyway. So I'm not complaining if it gets that many views. Like, even if it does any more than, like, 20 views, I'm happy. Like, that's cool for a channel that's only got 72 subscribers now. That's cool. That's great. I love that. So even if obviously review on review for this magazine, we get less and less views rather. It I don't mind. Like, it's still more eyes on the channel, which is just it's just cool that people are watching and seemingly enjoying the content that we're putting out. So yeah, to everyone who's watching this video, thank you so much. And obviously we've got other content that isn't D&D related. Because one thing we want to do, at least I personally want to do with this channel, is go, hey, look at this thing. This is something you know. This is something that I know that I love too. But there's cooler shit. Or maybe not cooler shit for you, but something that you might not know. Like, if you like D&D, you're getting into D&D, then maybe if you're a horror fan who's getting into D&D, fucking get it. Maybe Delta Green is for you. Or if you're a fan of cowboys and spaghetti westerns and Red Dead, maybe you'll like Deadlands, which is out of reach, so I can't get it, but I'll be doing a review sometime in the near future. Anyway, yeah, all that to say, stick around, we've got a lot coming, especially excuse me, especially as we get into doing more stuff because more eyes are on the channel, you know. So yeah, enough bullshit. We are 5 minutes into this video. You get, with issue 3, standees. They are like acrylic printed double-sided plastic, which, you know, isn't a bad way to go. I personally am a miniatures person. I like miniatures in my games. But paradoxically, I'm a theatre of the mind person when it comes to TTRPGs. So, yeah. It's one of those weird things. I like miniatures games, but I'm not... I won't say I don't like miniatures in my TTRPGs, because I love them. But if it was an option, miniatures or theatre of the mind, I'd go theatre of the mind. If it's standees or miniatures, miniatures every single day. But also, miniatures are expensive, you know. As I try and peel the plastic off this. Miniatures are expensive, so if you are just getting into the tabletop games hobby, like that's going to be hard. Like that's another barrier to entry. So having these plastic, or normally you'll get these sort of standees in a thick card. Like, I'm just trying to think of the sort of card you could expect. Like sometimes it's very thin, like this sort of card. Normally it's a little bit thicker than this, maybe the thickness of this magazine, but obviously it'll be cardboard just to make sure it's a little bit sturdier. Like I say, I'm more of a miniatures person, so I don't have anything like that as an example. Sometimes, actually, saying that, sometimes it'll be this sort of thickness, but obviously in card instead of this sort of... There we go. This sort of plastic... Is it both sides? No, it's not. There we go. There we go. I think I was picking on the wrong side. Because, of course I was. I am a fucking plonker. So yeah. Standees are cool. I don't know if it quite... Maybe it does just add up to £9. But yeah. So, as you can see, they pop out quite nicely. Which is good. There we go. So yeah, they pop out basically like, you know, your tokens in a board game or something similar. There we go. But again, unlike a board game, these are a little bit tougher. So taking your standees, you can now try and... Doing this in front of the camera is kind of hard. I might have to... What I'm going to do is a little bit of glare. Actually, might... Oh no, that is fitting. That is fitting. Thought for a moment that it wasn't going to fit. Which, with these things, if it doesn't fit, you... There we go. There we go. So that's what you're looking at once it's in its base. As you can tell, it took me a little bit of time to get it on the base, but once it's in there, that's fairly stuck in now. If you wanted to, I guess you could glue it shut and glue it well, not shut, but firm. I wouldn't. Like, just, easier to transport. And actually, I say easy to transport. This isn't too bad. It's fairly flat, quite nice. But yeah, standees are a good. They're just a good option, I think. If you're, let's put you there. You break up the glare a little bit. Oh shit. Standees are just a good option if you are getting into the tabletop games hobby. I think that's in as much as it's going to go. So there's your druid. Which was this one? I mean, obviously it's a halfling, but cleric maybe. It's got a book of some sort. It's got armor. I'm gonna say halfling cleric. That's a human robe. I think that's the base for you. Oh. And while I do this, another upside to these acrylic standees as opposed to miniatures is when you put this on a map or a like a battle map or a world map, you can see through the bases. So you're not having to, like, if you've got if you've spent dozens of hours on your miniature, and possibly even dozens of hours on your base, because some people do that, and then you come to the table and realize, we're doing a forest setting, and this is a, I made a base for a city or tundra biome. Say that's actually one of the neater fits. You're then fucked because you've got the wrong theming on your base for your current session, which isn't a bad thing. That's not like to say if you do spend all that time on your minis, but always it's always cool to see bases with fun thematic basing. And don't be afraid to take them to a table, even if they're not gonna fit the landscape, because at the end of the day, that's your mini. And also, if you are concerned about having a base that fits the landscape, there are games like Rumble Slam, for example, that have these circular style bases in clear acrylic that you can just glue the miniature on, so you can see right through the battle map. So if you want to have your own custom mini from, say, Hero Forge or one you've kit bashed yourself, you can put them on these clear acrylic bases and still have them work like you'd see with these standees. So that's an option too. That might, if that's something you want to see me talk about in the future, basing and things for miniatures for tabletop games or otherwise, leave a comment. Please leave comments to say what you want to see from this channel as I rip these off the magazine so we can take a good look at it. Like at the moment, I'm just doing shit because I want to do it, because this channel is a hobby. Obviously, it will continue almost always, hopefully, to be a hobby, but I only have so many ideas for stuff I want to do. So if people say, "Hey, have you heard about this game?" or have you heard about you know, this company, I'm gonna have a look at that. Like I was at my local friendly game store the other day. Spoke to a guy who was working on a I think it was a TCG, or a game that played a lot like a TCG. I think was their wording, and that sounds really cool to me. I always love hearing about people designing their own games, and to hear that it's being done within my community is even cooler. So yeah, yeah. Comments, please, for stuff you want to see. Anyway, back on topic because this has gone on for 15 minutes now, and I kind of want these to be under 20. The last one was under 10, which was nice. Anyway, in this issue, we will be looking at a new and exclusive adventure. Take on the Red Wizards, which, if you've watched the new D&D Honor Among Thieves movie, you will be familiar with these guys because they were, you know, the main antagonist was a red wizard. Spoilers, I guess. A guide to D&D conditions and maximizing your skills. So, yep. A thing on conditions. So that's always quite a good thing to know for a DM and players. So incapacitated, deafened, frightened, blinded, which I know all about, restrained, unconscious, which not a condition you want. This one's already breaking down the spine. Oh god, yep, that's almost gone already. That's good to know. So that's fun. The glue wasn't as good on this one. Yeet the propaganda. Introduction to skills, which I'm surprised it's. I guess we're only on issue 3, but I'm surprised we've got this far and not spoken about skills. I mean, there's, you know, some mention of them, but, you know, this is the first time we're looking at what they are and explaining what they are. Yeah, little piece on the race of elves, little piece on the race of halflings. Not a page that's a bit creased there, that's unfortunate. And I think, yeah, that's a printing error. Anyway, wizard features, and finally, Red Wizards. And then a little short adventure, as is the case with each issue. The Tower of Iron Will. I think I've got a paper cut. Very, very small one. Yeah, that's a little bit of blood. I'll have to sort that out in a minute. That stings like a bitch. Anyway, short adventure, and as you can see, the last page has almost completely separated. But finally, we have a Shizayad's Spirit, which, as ever, really nice art, and you can see the, I guess, not printing error, but like where they've not cut it out of the page, I guess. Anyway, so far, so good. Like I say, one of the lesser issues for me, especially in terms of the gift. I haven't looked at what, I'm sure Hatchet has said what comes in each issue, you know, going beyond this, but I haven't looked. Like, I didn't know this was a thing until I picked up issue 1 a month or so back. Like, it wasn't a thing that I knew of. But yeah, so I don't, like, everything that comes out each week is a surprise to me. There we go. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Like I say, your support through liking and subscribing is very much welcome. It's also free. And yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for just being you. So, yeah. Keep rolling crits, hopefully, and have a nice day. See ya.